Hello, hello.
Let them show you some love just for like 30 seconds. Just yes.
Thank you very much.
The buildup is so strong. It's just like, oh my God, he's here. And that's just how I feel right now. So, well, Louis, welcome to 99.7 Now. These are our people. They love you. There's nothing but love in this room right now.
Love that.
And the first thing I want to say to you, because I know, you stopped in very many cities, and I believe we're maybe one of the last, if not the last.
One of the last, yeah. Yeah, one more tomorrow, yeah.
I just want you to remember that, like, in 5 or 10 years, when they hear one of your songs or they see a picture of you or you're making a movie cameo or anything that reminds them of you or your music, they're going to remember this day. So I just want to thank you for making the time. Yeah,
right? No, of course. I love doing these things. So it's been amazing for me to go throughout this promo trip and actually... I've had these songs for a long time of this album, so it's been amazing kind of gauging the reaction and seeing which songs people like better than others, and that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah. Well, let's start with the title of the album, Faith in the Future. Where are you finding the faith? What are you seeing? I'm not saying I don't see it. I'm just saying, where are you seeing it?
I think you've always got to have faith. You've always got to try your hardest and see the glass half full. Yeah. So for me personally, and obviously it's individual to everyone, but for me personally, I just feel like super fucking revitalized since I've done this tour. So that gives me a load of faith in what I'm doing, definitely.
Did a lot of these songs come out of your time during the pandemic, during COVID?
Yeah, so I spent maybe, I want to say the first half of lockdown, I didn't really do anything at all, and I loved it. And then the second half, I started trying to be creative, and then we started the process of writing the record. I'd written pretty much all the songs, maybe all of them actually, before I'd gone on tour. So it was a funny feeling performing the current album and having such great experience through that, but also knowing I've got this new album to come, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and where did you find the inspiration? Because I mean, it's a lot different. You're not seeing a lot of people. Your situations in life sort of calm down. So where was that coming from?
Probably more internally, because I was hoping that I was gonna, before COVID happened, I was hoping I was gonna have a full tour under my belt, and I was gonna use all those inspirations to draw from. That obviously didn't happen. So I suppose I probably had to look a little bit inward, or had to get a bit more creative with my imagination and not write about things that I was seeing or necessarily feeling at that time, and trying to use a bit more imagination.
Yeah, sort of creating your own sort of dramas in your head, or coming out of that.
Yeah, a little bit. And also I think that the age that I'm at the moment, I mean, I think the two words that I kept coming back to conceptually on this album were choices and changes. That's kind of the age that I'm at. I see a lot of change happening around me. Also a lot of changes happening in my life anyway. Just got to 30 years old, feeling old. Yeah. I say just, I'm about to be 31. So yeah, I suppose a lot of it probably had to happen internally.
Yeah. Well, obviously we love the new single.
Thank you.
I was curious, and forgive me, I'm kind of going off script here, but I'm hearing like Oasis influences. I'm hearing like Britpop from like the 90s. Am I on with that, or is that like off base?
It was definitely a big part of growing up for me. Britpop was, but I think maybe with Bigger Than Me. But I think on the first record, I think I was a little bit close-minded in terms of the sounds that I used. I feel like I've been a bit braver on this record. So there's like a few more like dancier tunes, which I probably wouldn't have put on my first record. So I think it'd be hard to kind of narrow it down to like one kind of genre that inspired me. Yeah.
And going back to the title of the album, Faith in the Future, that indicates to me that these songs are hopeful, and there will be something to dance to, elicit some joy, just make people smile.
Yeah, and that was deliberate. I've said before, there was a certain weight to my first record, which was great and it was right for me at the time, but there was a certain weight to it emotionally. I wanted to break free of that with this album and just create something that felt hopeful from the off, and I think even the title does that.
Yeah. Well, in a few minutes, we're going to actually hear 4 of the songs from the new album, but I'm not done yet. So let's go back a little bit. During your days with One Direction, life was probably a lot different in those years. I'm curious. Obviously, you're as you mentioned, you're 30 now, in a different space in your life, and I'm sure it's completely different than what was going on so long ago. What do you think is the most different thing, though? Like, what is like the most like major change?
I will say everything. Yeah. Absolutely everything feels very different, actually. The thing that feels the most different is like day to day, moving about as a unit and kind of having that camaraderie together. Obviously now I'm on my own, I don't have band members like that to kind of induce that. But that's definitely a side of the job that I miss, kind of, bowling around and having that camaraderie, all of us moving around together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you're sort of in a gang, or you got your boys with you all the time. It's good support.
I tell you what, one of the first things I realised that was massively different, when you share a stage with 4 or 5 people,
right?
You don't have to like run as far.
Yeah,
I'm fucking unfit, man. So like first few shows, like I'm knackered.
Right, you're wearing your Apple Watch, you're keeping track of your steps. Like I did 10,000 steps in like an hour.
If I had an Apple Watch, I might. Yeah.
So I enjoy traveling, and I know, like, when I was closer to their age, like any artist that I really enjoyed, like I wanted to know everything about them. And I swear to you, I have probably gone to like some of the hometowns of my favorite artists. So I was curious, if I were to visit the UK and I wanted to go to Doncaster, where your hometown,
yep,
where would be the first place I should go, and what should I eat?
Right.
That's actually 2 questions.
First place you should go. Oh, there's 2 things that straight away come to my mind. Now, let me say, Doncaster is changing, but it's not the most happening place. There's not loads going on there. What we always used to do as kids is there's a place, I actually played a show there on this tour. It's a place called The Dome. And, oh, there we go, yeah.
All right. See, somebody knows.
Yeah, exactly. And it's got ice skating there. It's actually the only 2-level ice skating rink in Europe. We're pretty proud of that.
What? 2-level?
Yeah, I know.
Wait, can you skate down like from up to...
Yeah, man, you can see it now. You're getting
like,
it.
a ramp?
Man. Yeah. So maybe start out with that. We're also lucky in Doncaster that we have all the clubs on one street.
All right.
So it feels quite tropical, but it's Doncaster, so it's not that tropical.
Yeah.
But it's, that's good fun. In terms of what to eat, you're best off just having some McDonald's, man. There's not loads of good...
no fish and chips? Or?
Oh, yeah, there's loads of banging fish and chips.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you go on the road to perform live, or as you are now just promoting a new album, new songs, is there any like personal item that you have to bring with you from home, whether it be article of clothing, a picture, something, just to remind you of home or whatever you like?
I don't really have anything like that. Probably just my PlayStation. I take that everywhere.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you want to give out your PlayStation profile name to everybody, or did they already?
You know what?
They probably already know.
Yeah, it's dead bait, actually. Yeah. It's dead obvious. I probably need to change it.
All right. Well, Louis, you're off the hook. There you go. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you. I'm coming
Again,
back
for taking the time today.
See you in a bit. Enjoy the tunes.
Okay. We've got 4 new tunes from Louis' new album.